Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. BBD and Jolly are still at the winter meetings where a buzz is finally happening, and we have had some moves and some bigger ones seem to be on the rise. So let's do some talking about the baseball of Major League caliber. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy, and I'm joined by, oh my God, coughing, Jolly Olive and Big Baby David, who are in Nashville at winter meetings, extended their flights because the buzz is buzzing. We do have some moves to talk about. We may get some breaking news in the middle of this episode. Jake is on vacation. Trev is on vacation. I hope they're enjoying themselves.
Passing.
Passing.
Not that update, but they are saying Verdugo is not being flipped to San Diego as part of the deal.
Okay. That helps our number one topic, which is the Verdugo trade. Craig Kimbrel signed with the Orioles, not Oreos. Ohtani continues to be a big story. And then there's some other stuff. Oh my God. Just if you listen to the last episode with Jolly Olive and I, and we deep dove into the Braves and Mariners one, Marco Gonzalez already got flipped for nothing in return. So they already salaried, the Braves already just moved that money got that money back and moved Marco Gonzalez. So, I mean, I know that was our last bullet point, but I think it's as quick as that. Jolly, how are you? And hello.
I am good, James. I'm glad that things are coming to life a little bit on our last day here. Yeah, Braves moving in darkness again. Pirates get their number 2 starter, which, if you're a Pirates fan, curious to see what exactly the reaction is to that. But it does improve their rotation, which is cool. And we got a big trade. We got a couple signings that we can chew on a little bit. Craig Kimbrel, I'm excited to talk about with the Orioles. So a lot of fun stuff, a lot of Yankee related stuff. So I'm sure you guys will be active in talking Yanks later today, because there's going to be some Soto stuff that likely comes out within a couple hours. I've heard the word physicals and medicals, which means we're probably close to some kind of finish line. But I'm excited. It feels like winter meetings has finally got its legs a little.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting some action. When you sent the screenshot of how much we got last year versus this year, I was like, oh shit, we did get some stuff. Because you also
had like a steady flow.
Can you we also just like did a podcast for anything that happened.
Right.
Hold on. I have the Zoom bug on the screen, like over your faces. I just went to try and click it, but there's 4 different monitors for that mouse. I couldn't figure it out, so I'm asking Matt to come in. All right. Anyway, we're gonna get into the Verdugo trade first, but before I even do that, I want to say let the listeners of this show know had a very humbling experience or moment today when I got told some data from the Spotify Wrapped for creators. So I just want a big thank you to everyone. And this is just Spotify, which isn't in the top 2 ways this podcast is consumed, iTunes, podcasts, and YouTube. But the numbers were crazy. Top 10 podcast for 72,000 people, top 5 for 51, and number 1 podcast for 15,000 people. I went silent. Maddie told me this during we were filming an episode of Morning, so you can go see my reaction, but I was crazy. So, I mean, I think that's very rewarding for Trev, Jake, Beebs, myself, and really, really, really cool. So thank you guys very much for that. And subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. Appreciate you. With that, I got to tell you that the Verdugo trade is being brought to you by Waterboy, which is stuff you put in your water to make yourself more hydrated and healthier, which I have been loving doing that these days. So Waterboy is a hydration powder scientifically formulated to cut your hangover time in half. There are other hydration packs on the market, but nothing comes anywhere close to fighting those Sunday scaries like Waterboy. Also love their logo and their hat. I wonder if I still have that around.
Branding is very cool. This is a real story. The first time we did the ad read with them, that the people might remember here, because we talked about how much we liked the hat they sent us, and the guy on the package is cool. We blew through the 2 bags they sent, and I think our sales team told them we need you to send more, so we have round for other ad reads. But
yes. Yeah.
But yeah, we really enjoyed it.
When I'm working, I don't drink enough water, so I get lost, and those help me out, double it up. So hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure. It's time to stop dealing with that anxiety alone. For a limited time, our listeners get an exclusive 15% off discount with our link at waterboy.com/baseball. That's 15% off at waterboy.com/baseball. It's time to hydrate this holiday season. Jolly, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this trade. Verdugo goes to the Yankees, 1 year of control for three guys that aren't names anyone's probably heard of. Like, had you heard of Greg Weissert, Richard Fitz, or Nicholas Judas, I believe his name is?
I knew Weissert because, Yankees baseball usually on in the office. I saw him pitch a couple times. Was not aware of Dick Fitz's existence, but apparently he's got some good stuff that fits into his repertoire. So I'm happy for him that he's going to get a cool shot. But yeah, Doogie's the big piece here. I think it's not a bad piece. I think a lot of people were instantly like, oh, he's going to be part of the trade, but I think he fills some areas of need for the Yankees. He's got good arm strength, good plate discipline, doesn't strike out a ton. He's been right around league average. He's obviously not the marquee piece that the Yankees are going to add because I'm sure we'll talk at length about that later on when it does eventually happen. But Doogie, he's just kind of a placeholder and something to put in the corner outfield that's not like the level of maybe Jake Bauers or Billy McKinney. So it is a step up in my opinion. It's just kind of weird because the Yankees and Red Sox, I think, haven't traded since the Steven Drew trade, which I think was 10 years ago.
There was an Adam Ottavino straight up salary dump.
Okay, that counts. So I guess since then, but point being, it's always a little bit weird when the biggest rivals in the sport trade. It's like the Dodgers or Giants trade, which I feel like they never do. So I'm also your vibe on it too.
I don't know why the Red Sox. Okay, I know that Verdugo got benched last year, and I believe his numbers, Jake read them on Talkin Yanks, they were actually really good up until like September something. And then he got benched, and Cora had a whole spiel about how the culture of the Red Sox, they lost some of the culture. They lost something today, like big, like the team.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So that was interesting. On August 26th, let's go here. On September 2nd, he had a slash line of 280, 343, 452, 795. That's pretty good. You want the OPS to be in the 800s, but last year that's actually like really pretty good. And then he had a really bad end of September. I think that was post kind of the benching and all that stuff, and vibes were bad. So I'm hoping on that, like really bad. He had a 177 OBP in the last 19 games, which tanked all of his numbers to where they are. But Yankees need a lefty. They need a non-strikeout bat, and they need an outfielder. So he checks all those boxes. The Red Sox seems like they just wanted to get rid of him. If that's the case, if you just wanted to get rid of him, I would have assumed they would take a lesser package from an out-of-division non-Yankee ball club. So, unless they think this is like a saboteur mission, I don't understand. They didn't get anyone back. I mean, Weissert wasn't going to be part of the Yankees bullpen this year. He was going to be riding the bus at best.
Yeah.
And Richard Fitz hasn't pitched an inning in AAA. So there's just so much left. I understand it's just 1 year of Verdugo and you don't get a lot, but usually you get like something that's going to plug a hole in your team. Like I am shocked that no other team could match this, where the Red Sox were like, I'd rather get one less than give him to the Yankees and the potential pain of him hurting us. That's where I'm very confused.
I'm surprised, especially with the rumors swirling about a trade between the Yankees and Padres that could happen by the time this episode's even out, that they wouldn't have like waited for that to like be willing to eat Verdugo's money in a trade with the Padres and like buy a prospect, sort of like, I mean, we just saw Jolly's Mets do that at the deadline where they paid the salary to get like, you can get a real prospect if you were to give the Padres Verdugo for free on the books. Like, they're trying to be good. So
I mean, you
would have
usually it's
natural
like
fit.
it's like a guy that's ranked like in the 20s in your system for rentals. None of these guys were ranked in the Yankees org.
Yeah, like Fitz is a guy that like in my like deep cut nerd corners of Yankees internet, like people are interested in him, and it's like if he has his best case scenario, it seems like he might debut this year, and similar ceiling to what people think Weissert might be from the couple of things I've ever read about him. But
Yeah, I mean, I think it
he's
just
the
goes
most
back
interesting by
to
far.
I think
But
it just goes back to there were probably other suitors. I feel like a lot of teams could have used a corner outfielder, including I hate to always do this, but including the Mets who have like a hole in left field. I'm not saying that a lot of fans would have been happy with the answer, but like there's a lot of different ways the Red Sox could have gone with this. So when it happened, we were very, very shocked at the bar. BBD was in pure disbelief uh, over our drinks and then instantly bolted out to get ready for Yanks. My instant reaction was kind of just like laughing because it seemed like a fake tweet. And like, I'll put my hands up because when Jake pitched it on Talking Yanks, I was like, I don't think that's going to happen. That seems like way too out of left field. There's so many caveats to that. It's a Yankees Red Sox trade. And here we are. So I'm
Well,
really,
we thought it was going to be Glaber for Verdugo, and we're totally wrong there. Like,
yeah.
totally wrong. The fact that the Yankees, that Verdugo's a fit for the Yankees, we were right, but I don't think anyone was really countering that. People were
Sure.
saying like Glaber's way too much, and they were right. But I'm so confused by it. There's more likelihood that the three guys never impact a Red Sox season.
Yeah.
Than they do.
And I mean,
and I just feel like if you were going to go trade for three guys, that there's more likely, then you wouldn't give them to the Yankees. Not saying like people might be like, it's just 1 year. You never, okay, I agree. But then you would just go trade them to the diamond, like any other team and not the Yankees. So that's weird.
I mean, the biggest thing it tells us is what the trade market is going to look like. Because if someone who is a league average corner outfield bat the past 2 seasons with still plus tools, who's under 30 years old and can be a productive big league player, is going to go for three pitchers who might not ever see sustainable big league playing time instead of someone like Gleyber Torres, that gives you an idea of how advantageous the trade market can be. And like we've heard a ton of rumors with like Tyler Glass now and all these other teams trying to, curve their way out of the free agent market to trade for starting pitching instead of signing it in such a bulky market. That maybe we see more deals get done in the near future. Maybe this is kind of the floodgate opening in that capacity. But yeah, I thought it would cost more and I thought the destination would be different. And that makes it all the more interesting for me.
And there was a lot of speculation that he may be flipped to San Diego because he's way cheaper than Soto. So you're getting money off the books, but you're still getting a average to above average outfielder to replace Soto for 1 year while you're still trying to be competitive. And then it's also, well, they were trying to give Grisham, make the Yankees say Grisham as well. So is this the Yankees saying, we don't need Grisham? Stop. We already got him. Like, I think it was definitely, the timing was definitely involved in the Soto negotiations, which are intensified and coming to a close per kind of the vibes everywhere. So that's one Red Sox player who enjoys looking, like a Red Sox. Another player who enjoyed looking like a Red Sox goes to the Orioles, Craig Kimbrel. And he's going to look good in an Orioles uniform as well. Really good. So Kimbrel goes to the Orioles. It's crazy he's still around. I remember there was that year he could not sign and you thought he was going to be like gone. Turns 36 next season. They have such a good bullpen. Like, I don't know where he slates in there. I don't know if they know. I don't know if that matters anymore. I don't know if Kimbrel would give that up. Do you know that, Jolly? Like, where do you think he slates? And would Kimbrel at this age, and has he already, like, given up the closer role? Like, has he, or is he going to be a guy that's like, no, I'm the closer?
I think he's not going to be the kind of guy that's like, I'm only signing where I can be the closer. Because I think Kimbrel is just, it's exactly what you referenced before. I think he's just happy to still be playing in the game in a serious capacity. And Yadier Cano did really step up in a massive way for them after Bautista went down and kept that bullpen afloat and upright. So I think it is his job to lose at this point. The Hall of Fame guy in me kind of wants Kimbrel to keep racking up saves so that his case continues to get legitimized because We're seeing guys like Billy Wagner have a tough time getting. But Kimbrel, I think this is a great landing spot for him. I'm glad the Orioles are showing signs of life and spending money because we didn't really see them linked in any rumors. In fact, for 2024, they have the lowest guaranteed payroll of any major league team a year after winning 101 games. That means they're behind teams like the Oakland A's, who are at 38 million, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are at 41 million. So them spending some cheddar is a good, signal for fans that, hey, okay, maybe the front office isn't going to totally just try and be crafty. Maybe they're going to make strides to improve this team. And Kimbrel's a great weapon. He's coming off a great season in his age 35 season, I want to say. I think a lot of people might remember how that season ended with the implosion in the NLCS against the Diamondbacks, but altogether, he's put together 3 good years in a row after being on the brink of basically being out of baseball when he was in Chicago. So I'm excited for Orioles fans. It's one of those fits where I can instantly see it in my brain and it makes sense. Unlike, the Verdugo trade we were just talking about, where I'm having a tough time like picturing him in a Yankees uniform, I can see Kimbrel in an Orioles uniform, and he's going to fit in with, as you mentioned, a really, really talented and young bullpen. And hopefully he can instill some wisdom and continue to progress deep into this really good major league career.
That's all. I agree with all of that. I was looking at his save numbers. He had 23 last year. Alvarado had 10. Year before that with the Dodgers, he had 22. That was by and far the most. So he may want to be the closer, or I don't know. I'm interested to see like how that shakes out.
I guess my lean on it, thinking about the Orioles, is for them, Bautista had Tommy John, and being a reliever, he doesn't have to get stretched out in the rehab and stuff, but they have to operate like he won't return next year. And Cano, well, he filled in admirably in that role, did spend most of the year as like the best setup man in baseball. So
yeah,
they like him returning to that role, and Kimbrel is obviously used to the closer role. I would imagine their current like day one plan is Cano in the 8th, Kimbrel in the 9th is their most common permutation of that bullpen. But in a bigger sense, at the Orioles, they're a team that emphasizes their bullpen.
do we know nothing about the deal?
I don't see money anywhere. I think it's just like about to be confirmed kind of thing. And I think when you're at a slow winter meetings, that's kind of what you have to take as holy grail. Like anything more than interest, like once you start getting words like intensified or stuff like that, then I think you can start believing it. But yeah, I don't know the money. I'd have to assume it's nothing crazy. I want to see what exactly the Phillies gave him last year.
Well, he
Because
had a 1-year deal for 10 million guaranteed last year.
he had a good year, so I assume it's probably in that ballpark again, right? I'd say
Yeah, maybe he wants an option.
yeah. And
Or
he's
maybe the team wants an option.
going to partially set that relief market too, which is fun because there's a lot.
That's what I was going to pivot to, because there's, does this affect the hater market at all? The AAV, it might.
Yeah.
Jordan Hicks, other people. So
Yeah, I mean, those guys are definitely going to look at multi-year deals. They're definitely a little bit younger. But I do think for like, some of the other established guys, like Hector Neris is probably going to get a nice contract somewhere. He had a good year. Matt Moore pitched for like 3 teams, but he was terrific for a second season in a row. So that level of guys, I think this partially sets the market for them. And maybe it'll open the floodgates, because I think like a flurry of bullpen moves would be kind of fun, because, every team can use an extra reliever.
yeah, I wonder what this means for the Orioles. They need to go get pitching. I'd be cool if they went out and spent and got like one of the big guys. I don't think they're going to go get like a 5-year guy. I think they're going to try and get their best 2-year deal they can when that market kind of shows itself. I don't know who that is.
I mean, as it stands, like they have a rotation. They have Grayson Rodriguez, they have Wells, they have Dean Kramer and Bradish. Like they have that one spot to fill. You just hope that this is a sign that maybe they won't bargain bin shop for who's supposed to be like a frontline established ace for them. Like I'm hoping they are in that like Eduardo Rodriguez competition a little bit, that level, that tier of starting pitcher where it's going to be a 4 or 5-year deal, because you want it to be a long-term answer, because we're looking at a long window for the Orioles. So I'm hoping this is like a sign that maybe they're going to be competitive in free agency.
They lost Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bradish was awesome,
like,
but
yeah, when Grayson came back up, he was great.
Yes.
The entire rest of the regular season.
Yeah. So, did they lose any? They lose Means after 2024. He's going to be a free agent.
And you can't really bank on him being a huge part of the rotation. He is great, but he's only made 6 starts in the past 2 years because of injury.
Yeah. So who are they going to get? They need to go get a starter. I don't think they're going to get any offensive like big
I don't think they
piece.
need a position player, really. I mean,
I don't
maybe
think so either. Yeah. So I think they need a starter.
because Jackson Holiday's probably good. They said yesterday he's probably going to start the season with the team, which I'm not super
Yeah.
shocked by.
They have
He's the
infinite
consensus
kids.
number one. Yeah, they have infinite kids. They're just spawning out of trees. So I'm sure that they won't sign any big time bat.
I think they're going to be in that like Lorenzen, Flaherty, Clevenger, Lugo, Waka range. Like they're all predicted to get 2 years. Manaya, Giolito. Like I think they're going to try and just see what that market is and grab one of those guys.
I like Waka for them, but yeah, that's about the only name there that I think you can pass and be like, okay, it's something.
Yeah. Stroman. I don't think they're going to do that.
Story.
He's gonna get like 20 AAV, 20 mil. I think they're gonna try and go and get a guy that's gonna get around 10 annual and 2 years, like a 2 for 20 starter.
That sounds like Michael Waka, maybe.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'd like that for
That's a
them.
team he hasn't checked off yet. And if they did that, and then maybe also like did maybe it's a reunion with Flaherty or one of the Giolito, like that tier of guys who are going to look for the pillow contract and try to make it all click.
Or maybe they're also involved
maybe
in this
they're
trade market too. That's like developing because there's starting pitchers
infinite
out
prospects.
there. Corbin Burns,
True.
Glass
Yeah. Wow. Burns, Glass now. It's too much orange. You can't. It's too tall. All right, we're gonna move on. Some Ohtani stuff, some Roberts talking about Ohtani, some little small signings, and the next part of the show is brought to you by DraftKings. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Talkin, Talkin. New customers can get 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only at DraftKings Sportsbooks with code Talkin. The crown is yours. Start the timer. Here we go. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsibility gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Teams at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms, not teams. All right. Ohtani still the big name.
I don't know. Just Aaron Boone walked by us and he has a smile on his face.
Like a big.
Can you ask him? Say Jimmy's here. Can you? He'd like to ask you a question.
He like was walking by with speed.
He only walks with a purpose.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, like anybody with the Yankees does because they all get hounded. It's hilarious watching any other team get like asked questions compared to what the Yankees get. It's hilarious.
If you took Boone's winter meeting walking pace, which I've seen a bunch now, and you took Heyman's, Boone would finish a mile, 4 laps before Heyman finishes.
I was going to say 5 laps.
I don't think Heyman finishes a lap around a track at his pace.
I've seen him in 3 different spots.
He's hogging every lane. He goes backwards at one point.
He doesn't understand the concept of the fast lane.
We need to get out of
here. So yesterday, they asked Dave Roberts if they've met with Ohtani, and he says he like pauses for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to mention it. And then he says, if I could find the audio, I'll find it because it's like 10 seconds long.
I have the quote. I mean, he said that they did meet and that he thought it went well because everyone in the room knew that the Dodgers met with Shohei Ohtani. I mean, we can take ourselves a little seriously. We could not have to pretend. That storyline was so bizarre. Do you have the audio?
Yeah.
Play that.
It's a good possibility. I think that, yeah, we met with him. I don't want to like to be honest.
So that's the crux of it. He definitely knows, hey, they told us not to do this. Ohtani wants it all private. He does 4 seconds. And then he goes, yeah, we met with him. I'd like to be honest because I'm a grown fucking man and I'm not going to just lie to you about something that does not matter. And I could not believe the sentiment on Twitter, which I don't go on that much, but it was a fun day yesterday for Soto reasons, that they were like, Roberts blew it. You weren't supposed to say it. Roberts is so dumb. It's like, shut up.
Aaron, we have Jimmy with us right now. He wanted to check in if anything's going on. He's doing okay. Do you want to come say hi? Do you want to come say hi? All right, I'll let him know you said hi.
Aaron wants you to know he says hi.
He's
all right.
Again.
Yeah. Hi, Booney.
Smiling. I can report a smile.
So, yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. Roberts didn't say anything that no one knew.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
we met with him.
It's like there were reports after that he looked kind of sheepish after someone had talked to him. In my opinion, I didn't see that kind of emotion from him. I think the rest of the presser was
well, the GM did come out and say,
yeah,
I was surprised he did that. We're not supposed to talk about him. And then Roberts responded and was like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Also, give anything away.
We all know that they met. They're one of the main two suitors. Everyone has predicted this for like since the end of last season. Everyone knows that they're meeting together.
Yeah. I know Ohtani's the darling of everything, but I couldn't believe people were like trying to rip Roberts for this. He didn't say shit. He said, basically, yeah, it is light outside. It looks like a nice day.
And like, if you want to play that,
was told you're not supposed to talk about the weather.
Like, I guess Schneider did do a better job in his presser, which was also just as mobbed as the Dodgers one in terms of not revealing anything. Like, people were asking him like how he looked tan, and maybe they were in Florida. And then that report came out later that they met in the Florida Complex League. But it's all stupid. It's all just headlines made out of nothing because
it's becoming a little too much for me.
It's a little too much to be around. You know?
It's I don't understand it. Ohtani should sign. There was a big sentiment when Ohtani did this the first time that he met with too many teams that he had no interest in. And some teams were upset about that. Now, maybe Judge did that last year with the Giants, and some of it is to drive up a price, obviously. But I remember that being sentiment when Ohtani did this, where, you know, Cashman had like he had a quote like, what was his quote? He said like hustle money, or
I can't recall the exact quote, but especially that first go around with Ohtani when he first came over, where like because of when he came, his market was pretty limited, so it's not like he could be blown away by a money offer. It was pretty much just about where did he want to sign with the way the bonus pools all go and stuff.
We didn't even talk about the weird beef with the Cubs going on now too, because apparently Bob Nightingale like prematurely reported that their optimism waned, and then Jed Hoyer had something to say to him, like pretty much around where we're sitting, and then the reports changed after with the Cubs. So I don't know, man. It's just it's getting a little exhausting.
I think that happened like right in front of us
because the Chicago setup is right to our right, so it would have happened right there. I don't know that we were around, but it's all very bizarre, very exhausting, and there's no update. So I'm just so sick of talking about it.
Almost a little like Streisand effect, where Ohtani's camp is like, you're not allowed to talk about it, to the now it's the point where like we're talking about that rule instead of the normal shit. And it's like, why can't we say we met with you?
They're also the only 3 teams that are still in. Of course they can talk about it. What is he going to do?
So anyway, I stand with Dave Roberts on this situation.
One of the nicest guys ever. So I like him.
He's really nice.
We're almost.
Eric Fetty's coming back to the state, signed a 2-year, $50 million with the White Sox after winning the Cy Young and the KBO. Congrats to him. Kirby Yates goes to the Rangers.
1 year, $6 million, which means Kimbrel definitely got $10 million, I think.
And Carantini signed with the Astros for 2 years, $12 million. So no more Machete.
Maldonado. Yeah, those were fun moves, I guess, but you'd like bigger stuff to happen around it. Fetty's I don't know how that's going to go, because I think Foolish made a good point that Josh Lindblom also won KBO MVP, came back over, got a nice deal from the Brewers, and then was still not awesome at the major league level. Maybe Fetty will be. Who knows?
I'll root for him. Nice guy.
Why not? He's not my division.
Okay, I just asked Joe's McFly. Cashman said it was false hustle.
Okay.
He didn't like how many times they met and had a conversation if you had no interest.
Is that a term?
False hustle.
False
Yes,
hustle.
now.
He said like he made the Yankees false hustle. Like, come on, hurry up. You know, like get your offer. And then like it was like, you know, you were never signing with us. So anyway, Ohtani is awesome. He's the best player. It's very cool. I did like Joe's tweeted out yesterday, like a joke tweet of half joke, half real, you know, because nothing actually matters about like, come on, Ohtani, just do it. It's like stop going on all these like trips and being selfish. Just sign and let the rest of the market go. And someone in the same vein of like being like jokingly trolly, I guess, was like, he's just a DH anyway, which is really funny. Really funny because next year he is kind of anyway. I would like Ohtani to sign so we get the rest.
Yeah, me too. Right before we leave, it would be fun to have like a little frenzy and then get on a flight. Kind of fun.
And I don't see why it would take longer than the next week.
And people thought it was going to happen before we even do this. Like people thought he was going to.
If it goes past Christmas, I think that's weird. Because what's happening? Obviously, we don't know behind the scenes, but like you have your teams, you have your offers.
Yeah.
We're going to like need the 30 for 30 if that happens.
Yeah. Well, no. That's
Right.
the decision all over again.
Yep.
I think that's
Cool.
it.
All right. We're on call for this potential Soto news. So wish us luck. Might have happened by the time you listen to this. Thanks again to Jolly for filling in. Jolly Olive, subscribe, follow.
Thanks.
Jake sucks.